Okay, let's try this. Hi, I'm Title Pending. Welcome to Jebediah and my course for the Godot Rakugo for beginners. Our complete course will end with creating a first-person shooter in Godot with story elements using the Rakugo library for Godot. Also, there's a homework link below so you can participate, so you can practice what you should learn from this unit yourself, and you can ask questions of either Jebediah or myself in the Discord link below. Welcome to Lesson 2, Variables and Logic Operators. We have taken the time to write our scripts for each lesson. You can find the script in a link in the description of this video. Also, at times, I may show the script I'm reading from and sometimes go off script, so please forgive me. Also in the description, this lesson has timestamps and headers. Feel free to skip ahead or review. Our goal today is to use variables and functions to simply turn something on or off. I'm going to go over the basics of variables and logic operators. These are the simplest things to understand in any programming language. We chose GDScript as many believe it is easier for beginners to learn than C#. But C# is another wonderful language the Godot engine supports. If you're still curious, many developers weighed in on a Facebook discussion, and I also made a vid about the discussion in case you don't use Facebook. You can see a link to the discussion and related video below. Like natural language, there are many programming languages, i.e. code. However, a machine language, i.e. code, is simpler than a human one. There are no variables such as idioms, cultural norms, or political parties, etc. It is literally literal. If something doesn't make logical sense, it simply does nothing. However, given this programming languages do certain logic conditions and arguments that may annoy you at times. What does extends do? First, let's look at the start of a GDScript. Extends will relate to the type of node you're linking the GDScript to. You can link or extend to other nodes you've made, but in this case, we are extending to a spatial node. If you are unfamiliar with nodes, you can check the link to the official Godot docs in the description below. Okay, we're clicking on the 3D tab on the top. As you can see, I've pre-constructed a 3D scene with 3 switches that affect the animation cube in the scene. I understand for a beginner, things like how to use the lights might seem a little hard. Have no fear, you can download this file from the link below and ask questions of both us in Jebediah's club Discord. However, things like lights and importing models is a topic for another day, as we are focused on variables and logic operators for this unit. Looking at the example scene, you can see that the spatial node is the main node, i.e. parent, and the other nodes, i.e. children, are under the spatial node in the scene tree. This means we can pretty much program, code, and script from the spatial node and affect all the other nodes. Again, the spatial node is the parent, and all nodes under it are children like a family tree. So, clicking back on the script tab on the top, you can see the first line is extend spatial. And again, spatial being the type of node we are scripting for GDScript. After that, we can see some base variables I've set up. Variables x plus 2 equals 3. This math above should be pretty easy to figure out. X should be 1, of course. X could be a lot of other things, like y minus 10 or something. But let's consider that x is equal to 1. X is a variable in the equation, like 2 and 3. So in GDScript, var x equals 1 would be how you could represent the variable. Variables come before functions. Here's our simple variables for the unit. Var a equals false, var b equals false, var c equals false. This means when the scene and nodes load, these variables will start as false. Now, of course, you can have other variables later that represent states, like speed or health, but these variables are super simple. Note, they will be used in a Boolean value. A Boolean value simply means a variable that is on or off, true or false. Functions. What is a function? You can check that link at Kinskin Code. What's under a function? Expressions, statements, equations, or you can call it, all of it, code. A function is our logic operator. X plus 2 equals 3 is a basic function. You have the equation x plus 2 and a desired output of 3. For us, we We will now create a function that checks for if something is on or off. Okay, let's look at the code. Note to self, delete the retype things. Sorry. What is function proxys delta? Andrew Wilkes responded in the official Godot Facebook group. It is elapsed time in seconds since the last call to the function. I cover this in the first section here. If you're curious about delta in Godot, you can check out Andrew's site, link below in the description. Next, if input.action just press switch A, I'm going to delete this now, and I will retype this so you'll see that there are auto text options. Godot is good at giving little bits of code. The code itself is related to pressing a key. No, let me quickly show you how to set up a key. We click on a project settings, input map, and hit the plus button on the right side. Scrolling down, you can see I've already added the button. Now back to the code. A equals exclamation mark A. A equals true, A equals false. Switch spotlight.visible, exclamation money sign switch, slash spotlight.visible. So take a look at the scene and you'll see that it relates to the order of the trees. As you can see, we start with switch, then we go to spotlight. It's like looking for a file in a directory, but in this case, it's a node within a node. Also notice that we use here / web links and Macs and not / Windows. The node closest to the main node is first, and then the node order just follows. The dot or period will then state if the spotlight is visible or invisible. Anim switch CSG mesh animation player. A anim relates to the animation player, and indeed the parentheses will again be a node order that tells Godot what node to go to and what animation player to use. The entire line refers to the bottom function. Function animation and in value, whereas a value, it plays animation equals true and plays off animation if A equals false. CGS or SCG mesh cube / block any.play switch A. Finally, this will play the animation switch A. Return the function if the Godot engine understands the code, but the button is pressed. For the other switches, I just copy and paste and change the variables. We'll cover the animation suite for later, but you can always Google the Godot animation player, and I'll put the animation tutorials if you'd like to get started sooner. Also note, I did something a little different to combined animations, which I will cover later when I talk about the animation tree. Animations. All right. Finally, we need to have one function to play the animation. One when switch A is on and off. For this, we just need a conditional statement. Function animation value. If the blank is the animation name and the value. If value, animation player on, check out to see the animation is playing. Else, animation play off, we'll turn off the animation player. Recap, and that's about it. I hope anyone using this learned how to set up variables and vars, how to set up functions, how to set up booleans, and how to set up if-else statements. We have a general plan where we want to take this course, but please put a comment below and give us feedback so we can help develop the course for beginners. And of course, like and subscribe to help our content reach others. Insert catchy phrase here. All right.